What's up, bosses? Welcome back to my channel. So recently I've been getting some questions about taxes and how all that works with your Etsy shop. So that's what we're doing here today. We're going to answer the questions: am I a business? Do I need an LLC? And best practices for banking, bookkeeping, and filing your taxes at the end of the year when you have an Etsy shop. Before we get into this, I just want to preface this video by saying I am in no way, shape, or form a tax professional. So please double check this information, do your own research, and reach out to a tax professional if you want to make sure that what I'm discussing in this video actually applies to your state. I do know that there is some conflicting information out there about whether you are a business and whether you have to file taxes and how you manage all of that as an Etsy seller. So this video is just to tell you what I've been told, what I know, and also share some tips of how I handle my banking, my bookkeeping, and my taxes. So with that out of the way, we're going to answer the first question, which is, am I a business and did I make enough money or enough sales this year to file for taxes? So according to the IRS, if you intend to make a profit with whatever you're selling online, then you are a business. It's about the intent to make profit, which means even if you make $100 in sales, or you make $5,000 in sales, you still need to file for that income during tax time. So I'm assuming that most of us are here trying to make a profit on our Etsy shop, but if you do happen to break even with your materials and your income, then you are considered a hobby, or what the IRS calls it, a not-for-profit activity. But even still, even if you're operating as a hobby, you're still required to file that at tax time. So there's really no way around it. Now that you know you're a business, your next question might be, do I need to be an LLC? And no, you do not. If you don't apply to be an LLC, or you haven't applied to be any other type of business type, then your business is considered a sole proprietorship, which means that you're using your personal social security number when you file your business taxes at the end of the year, instead of using an EIN or a tax ID number, which is an ID that you get when you apply for an LLC. Now, I chose to get an LLC for my business because I was selling glassware. And if someone was to hurt themselves on broken glass or something and then try to sue me, they wouldn't be able to sue my individual assets, me as a person, they would sue the business. So an LLC just gives you an extra layer of protection if someone was to sue you. Luckily, no one did try to sue me, but because I was selling glassware, I just wanted to be extra careful and make sure that I wouldn't get in any serious financial trouble. It cost about $200 to apply for my LLC, and I did that through my state government's website. Now that you know that you are in fact a business and that you don't need to apply for an LLC, now let's talk about how to manage your business expenses and income. So after I got my LLC, I decided I should get a separate bank account for my business. So there are many different options, and I encourage you to do your own research when it comes to choosing the perfect bank for you. But I chose to open a business bank account with Chase. So having a business bank account separate from your personal bank account really helps you with bookkeeping, which we're going to get to in a second. But it also makes your business look more legitimate to the government. And it's easier to see the financial health of your business because you can see your income growing, and then you can see your expenses going out at a glance when you log into your business bank account. But even with keeping your personal spending and your business spending and income separate, you still need a bookkeeping system. And I chose to go with QuickBooks. And because I was running my business as a sole proprietor, and then I switched to an LLC months later, and then I didn't do my bookkeeping to the end of the year, it was kind of a hassle to categorize all of my purchases at the end of the year. But it's still okay. What you do is you would download the CSV file from your banking account online, and then you would import that CSV file into QuickBooks, and then all of your spending will populate, and then you have to go through it and mark if something was a business expense or if something was a personal expense. And that's why you should really try to stay consistent with bookkeeping, because doing that at the end of the year took quite some time. And then I probably even forgot about some of the expenses, because if I wasn't sure, I would just mark it as personal. And anything you mark business will automatically move over to a section with a graph where you will see your profit and your loss. And then when it comes time to tax season, you can actually export that document and give that to an accountant. Now, I know some people might choose to do their own taxes, which is totally fine, but if this is your first year in business and you don't know how to file for your taxes for your business while you have a full-time 9-to-5 job, then I do think that it's totally worth it to get an accountant. My accountant charges me $500 every year to do my business taxes and my full-time income taxes. And that just saves me a lot of headache and I don't have to worry about it. Typically, if you have an accountant who's better at accounting than you, which usually they are, they can actually find ways to get you more money in your return. Now, obviously, your accountant might charge a different rate, but what they will do for you is basically take your profit and loss statement that you give them from QuickBooks or whatever bookkeeping service you decide to subscribe to. And for your business, they will use that income and expenses report to fill out something that's called a Schedule C. So as you know, there are Etsy fees and there are shipping fees if you're using the Etsy platform to print labels. But what Etsy has recently changed is that they actually subtract those fees from your revenue before they push your funds into your bank account. And I think they did this because they want to make it easier on sellers during tax time. But don't forget, there are a ton of other expenses that you should be reporting on because you don't want to miss out. If you don't report those expenses, then you're going to be taxed on a larger number, which means you have to pay more at tax time. So make sure you're thinking about the apps you're using. So I use Canva, so that subscription I mark as an expense. I use Marmalade. I have the Adobe Premiere Suite. I bought a $2,000 course this year. I hired a private one-on-one coach. So all of those things you can actually expense and you want to make sure you're expensing it. Even your shipping materials and the materials you purchase to make your products, anything that's business related. So if this is your first year filing your taxes for your small business, then you're going to file yearly. But know that next year you might have to file quarterly because you now have a business. And when you create a login on your state government website for your personal income tax account and then your business tax account, in the beginning of the year, at least for New York and for me, it will tell you if they want you to file quarterly or if they want you to file yearly or bi-yearly. And this year, actually, they told me to file yearly. So it does change. I'm not sure why it does, but just know that that's a thing. Okay guys, so I hope that this information helped you in some way. Remember, do your own research and look online for more information around this, depending on what state you live in. But I hope this general overview did provide some value for you. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye, guys.